you know, when I was racing in 125s, you know, and obviously before my time, the 125s and 500s and 250s were the main class, and you know, they're really fun to ride. The noise, the smell, and everything is, you know, is a lot more of a thrill than a four-stroke. But you know, four-strokes are good now. They're, you know, they've obviously come on a long way since your day, Steve. So yeah, they're just as fun to ride. And obviously, the bikes I'm riding now, the technology and stuff in them, it's, you know, it's great and sort of a privilege to ride.
Cracks me up. What are you now? 26, 7? 22. I started racing when I was 25. Didn't even start the first race. It's not right, is it? Also, we have here Gearlink Kawasaki's Ben Wilson, another local lad. Come on, Ben. Give him a big hand. Come on. Just come round here, mate. We're going to find you a chair. Ben, another local lad, obviously from Boston. Well, close to Boston. But Spalding. Oh, Flower Man. Ben, obviously you're here today and tomorrow. Just chatting away to Alex here about a bit of history and obviously where he came from. You as a Sam racing man, obviously you instruct with me quite a bit on the short tracks here, isn't it? Used to going sideways. But what got you into road racing to begin with?
I got road racing through my father, really. He had a bike shop, and I used to come to the races and probably watch Steve as well, to be honest, and just thought that's what I wanted to have a go at, and that's what I did. So ever since then I've been road racing and had a long history with Kawasaki ever since, really, to be honest.
Yeah, you started off...
Just mention how well he did last week first.
Yeah, no, obviously... Ben's pushing very hard in the British Supersport Championship with Gearlink Kawasaki, as I said, but a fantastic weekend. You've had not a lacklustre, but a difficult start to the season, shall we say. I know how much effort you put in on and off the track, but obviously you've had a little bit, not like Ben Wilson, result-wise the first 2 or 3 meetings, but put that all to bed at Knockhill last weekend and maximum points and stuck yourself back up there in the championship and mentally against the people around you.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously at Knockhill I did the double, and it's fantastic for your confidence, and it was fantastic for the team. We've had like Steve said, I've not had the best of starts of the season. I've been on the podium 3 times until we went to Knockhill, and you know, it was a little bit difficult when we went to Alton Park, crashing in the qualifying session, and that put me out of the first race, and then I had to start from the back of the grid and ended up finished 7th. But I knew we had the pace at Alton Park, but we put it all together at Knockhill, and we got the double, and it was fantastic to do that.
I'm not ignoring you now, Alex, sorry. So just tell me, did your teammate come and give you a big kiss and a cuddle after, or was he positive or negative?
Yeah. To be honest, everybody shook my hand apart from one person, and we were not going to say who that was, but you know, that's just the way it is, and I'm not really too fussed. He's on his side of the garage, I'm on my side of the garage, and we get on well enough, but pretty sure I won't be going around there for a cup of tea, that is for sure. No, alright, fair enough. Right, Alex, obviously your weekend was quite the opposite, really. You know, you've had, so far this year, you've been on the top step of the podium and stood on the podium most rounds until Knockhill. You know, obviously Knockhill's a very difficult track. You've just been testing, like you've just been telling me, at Cadwell Park. Knockhill's a difficult track where 0.2 of a second makes a massive, massive difference, but you struggled there a little bit. Well, it wasn't a little bit of a crash, it was a proper crash. Not much damage to yourself or the machine, luckily, but not the best of weekends.
No, the way I look at it is you have to have, you know, bad weekends to have good weekends, and Knockhill's a difficult track, and you know, if a 4th place is a bad result this year, then you know, I'll take that. You know, last year at this point in the season I'd have been over the moon to finish 4th. So you know, I've got to be realistic. I didn't ride very well. I made a few mistakes. It was my fault in race 1, but you know, hopefully I'll learn from that. And yeah, the team and the bike are fantastic, and I've not enjoyed my racing as much as I am now. So you know, I don't want to worry about it too much. It's just one of them things, and you know, obviously everything's going shaky's way at the minute. But yeah, I need to get up there and ruffle his feathers, and you know, sort of get ready for the showdown in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, you've obviously, you know, like I said, 6 podiums, you've had a win, you're pushing hard, you know, which is brilliant.
this year, like I said earlier, for me, you're in the best team in the paddock. You know, you're making the most of that, really. You've had some good rides in the past, and you obviously been going from strength to strength, and now you're with the proper team. It is a good team effort, but you know, is there added pressure there?
No, not at all. You know, I can't put any more pressure on than I put on myself. I work as hard as I can. I work as hard as I can in practice, and I do as well as I can in the races. You know, if I start thinking that you know the Honda boys are going to be thinking this or thinking that, it's just going to get me nervous and not let me ride how I want to ride. So you know, like I said before, I'm on a good bike. I'm with a good team, and I need to make sure that I'm focusing and using my head as much as I can, and getting nervous and worrying about the pressure, that's not going to help that. So no, I don't think there's any more pressure. It's just a little bit easier to do the job. You know, I've rode bad bikes in the past. I've rode bad. I've rode good. I've crashed a lot. I've done stuff wrong really as much as I've done stuff right. So sometimes you have to do it wrong to learn how to do it right. So yeah, now I know what to do. I just gotta focus hard and do it. And I think I keep going back to that point, but I need to beat that old man that's shaky burn.
Yeah, I think that works on and off track, especially for you and your brother. You know, you got to learn through your mistakes. But no, it is what it is. Obviously, now with the championship being changed, you know, you're halfway through the first part of the season, through towards the knockout. You know, you've had 4 rounds, 36 points down on Shaky. Can you get back on there and kick his backside?
Yeah, I think I can. Obviously, I'm not one to sit here and think that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do my very best. And you know, I'm pretty sure I've got a good bike. I know I've got a good bike, and I know I've got good tracks coming up for me. Alton Park was always a bad track for me, and I managed to win there this year. So if I can take that on for the rest of the year, I think we should be in a decent position. Shake is obviously full of confidence, but it's a long year. We've done 4 races. There's a long way to go, and you know, I'm sure he's going to have bad weekends as much as everyone else. So it should be fun, and you know, no one likes it when there's someone else winning as many races as he's winning. So hopefully I can get some wins next time out.
And Ben, obviously, like we said, you know, back on the top step of the podium, mega feeling, confidence boosting. You've been over at the Northwest 200 last year. Any ideas of sticking your head in the road racing scene, or is that a definite no?
To be honest, I went over to the TT this year and had a look as well, and there was some bits of that circuit and I thought, yeah, this is really fantastic, you know, and I would like to ride through this bit here. And then there's other bits where you just sort of move your head to miss a brick wall or something, and I just don't know at the minute. You know, my style at the minute is all action and everything like that, and I seem to be pushing the front as hard as I do the back, and I just don't think it'd suit me at the minute. But at the minute, I'll just stick with my short circuits, but you know, you can never say never, and I've got a lot of respect for the lads that do it, and I'll just carry on watching them for a couple more years before I make my decision.
Yeah, well, it was pretty much the same for me, in all fairness. You know, I kind of, I always think I'm the smoothest rider out there, but, you know, when I first decided to go to the TT, I was, you know, a lot of people kind of said it'd probably be my last race, for obvious reasons, but you certainly have to change your style and calm down a little bit, you know, leave a little bit in spare to learn the place, and then if you want to start winning, obviously then you've got to start to push a little bit harder. But what about the future for you, Ben? Obviously, you know, we're all hoping and rooting, well, I am especially, that you're obviously going to not just beat your teammate, but beat Stuart Easton for the championship this year, and put that final nail in your coffin, shall we say, and win the Supersport Championship. But what about after then? What are you looking at? Superbikes? Well, would you like your Gearlink team to go Superbike, or maybe across the European Championship?
To be honest, I don't think my team have got the actual budget or anything like that to go Superbike, so I don't think that's really an option for the team. They like being, you know, the official Kawasaki team for Supersport, and I don't think they'd have that if they went to the Superbike series. So I think they're happy doing what they're doing. I'd love to win the championship for them. Obviously, there's me and Alistair that are in the top 3 at the minute, so they've got a good chance, obviously, this year of winning the championship with either me or with Alistair. But you know, it's not going to be easy. There's Stuart Easton, who's pushing so hard this year, and he's right on the pace. You know, he's so smooth, and so is Alistair. So it's going to be a tough one at the minute, but to be honest, I'd love to get back into Superbike and have a go at doing that again, but it's been a long while since I've been in there, but I'm sure we can get to grips with it again and have another go. But at the minute it's just 120% on just doing what I'm doing and trying to win that championship, and that's going to be my goal at the minute.
Yeah, no, pretty good obviously to get back. Obviously he was in a very good setup before with Vivaldi, you know, on the Superbike side, or it looked fancy from the outside anyway. But you know, it was tough, and probably it was very, very strong then, the British Championship, you know, a massive depth of field. Not that it's not fast now, obviously, but you know, jumping from these days, I think jumping from the Super Sport to a Superbike is quite a big difference, and you can't afford to be too aggressive, as Alex will probably, you know, agree. No, I'm not saying you're aggressive, you're not big enough to be aggressive, but you know, as far as that goes, Alex, with Sam, does it really pay having him in the garage, in the box, having him looking out for you, or does it get right up your nose?
What does get up my nose is him winning races every week, because that's all I hear from him all the time, and I kind of try and keep up with him, but no, that's something that I feel quite lucky to have, you know, a twin that's into the same things and does the same job as you is great, and he does support me, so he's more critical on me than anyone else. I think after the crash at Knock Hill, he just said to me, "That was silly, wasn't it?" That's all I got. That's it. Not, "Are you alright?" Just, "That was silly, wasn't it?" Cheers.
And then, but does he do anything, you know, obviously of structure? Does he help out? Does he go out spotting around the track, looking at different things, or is he just there to kind of hold your hand and or pretend he's you?
He's got no chance. He don't even know how to set his own bike up, so he'll have no chance of watching me and seeing what I can do.
And as far as that goes, have you ever stood in for each other, as in without anybody knowing?
No, the closest we've come to doing that was 2011 at Monza. He broke his shoulder at Assen in a crash, and I had to go and do the you know, the like fitness test for him, and I'm I'm trying to make out I'm perfectly okay. I'm doing these 20 press-ups, trying to make out my shoulders a bit sore, and the doctor can't believe it that I've got a broken shoulder blade and just doing 20 press-ups like that. And then later on in the weekend, obviously Sam's limping around with his shoulder, so that was obviously a bit naughty, really. But we've never swapped bikes or anything, and I wouldn't mind to go on his Yamaha though. It looks pretty trick.
Yeah, I think in all fairness, the Yamaha or the Kawasaki is probably the best two bikes in the championship, or certainly in the World Championship, without doubt. You know, probably the Yamaha is probably the fastest thing I think out there. Yeah, you got to say that. But as far as your future is concerned, you know, obviously you want to be pushing and chasing and going as hard as you can for the Superbike Championship in the UK this year. What about, obviously, you're looking at your brother in World Supersport and hopefully watching him all year win the title if possible. Don't you want to be there?
Yeah, 100% I want to be in World Championship racing, whatever class it is. You know, British Superbikes is great, and you know, I'd love to be a British Superbike champion. It's a dream, and it's something that I'm going to do my very best to do this year. But beyond that, you know, I'd like to do World Championship. You know, I don't think the people in World Championship really look at the British Championship as much as they probably should. You know, I've been speaking to some people with Sam and stuff for next year, and they don't really know what's going on. And you know, obviously, if I can get to World Superbikes or World Supersport or Moto2 or something like that, you know, I'd love to do that. But the most important thing for me is to be with the right team. You know, I've been with good teams and not so good teams, and you know, it really does make a big difference. So you know, whatever I do, as long as I'm with a decent team and I can enjoy it, I'll be enough.
You've obviously been very fast